Now, very often I get people contact me very distressed about their battle with algae. They're battling the algae. What can I do to get rid of the algae? I think the first thing to realize is that you're not battling algae. You're battling bad water quality. If you've got too high CO2 levels and not good enough surface agitation, if you've got too low a pH, if you've got elevated organic levels such as nitrates and phosphates, if your calcium, magnesium and so forth is all too low, if you're overfeeding, if you've got dead spots in the back of your reef discharging hydrogen sulfide, there's all these different issues which all come down to your maintenance, your testing, and the quality of your water. It is not a battle with algae. It's a battle with water quality, maybe your own laziness, maybe your own tight-assness, maybe you've got some other reason. But if you can change your logic from it being a battle with algae to a battle with water quality, then guess what? You'll win. So, if your aquarium is going well, your corals should all be growing, and you should have lots of coralline algae, which is that lovely purple stuff all over the back there. Now, obviously, this tank, the lights are off because it's nighttime. Hey, Bruce. But if you got coralline algae growing everywhere, which this tank has coral growing everywhere, so let's not talk about that, and your water quality is good, then you're not going to have a problem with algae, because there's not going to be nutrients available for the algae, and your corals will grow and your corals will thrive. On the other hand, if your nutrient levels are too high, then you're going to get algae. And it's exactly the same as if you go up to the Great Barrier Reef and you stand at the foot of a river, and half a kilometre out to sea may be pristine coral reef with basically no algae. Then, if you turn around and face up the river, then you will find lots of algae and no coral. And that is because the nutrient level of the river is high, because the water typically runs off the land, picks up nutrients, goes into the river. Then the river will proceed down and it will go through mangroves, and the mangroves are going to filter the water and suck all the nutrients out. Then it will go past calopa beds, intermediate zones, which all strip the water of nutrients. Then at the end, you end up at a coral reef by the time all the nutrients are all stripped out. So, changing your thinking to think that you're battling algae to think that you are battling good water quality or laziness. So, just suggest that the way your aquarium looks today is exactly a result of what your water quality was like last month. And the way your tank looks next month is exactly a result of what your water quality is like now. So, if your water quality was bad last month, it's going to look bad now. If your water quality is bad now, it's going to be bad next month. If your water quality is not quite right now, give it time. It's going to also be not quite right. Then you got to understand buffering capacity. So buffering capacity. If your calcium and KH levels are too low in your aquarium, then the corals use their calcium carbonate structure as a reserve, and they use that when they need to, when the water is too low in calcium or KH, carbonate, magnesium, and those reserves will quickly be exhausted. And the rock is also often a bit of a buffer for the phosphate and nitrate, particularly phosphate. So if over a period of time you're putting too much nutrient in the tank for the capacity of your tank, then the phosphates are going to leach all into the rock, become calcium diphosphate, and then that acts as a buffer. So you can misuse or mistreat your aquarium for quite a while because of the buffering capacity of the coral and the buffering capacity of the rock. So the coral looks after itself for a while with its own reserves, and the rock looks after you for a while with its internal structure and the formation of calcium diphosphate. The other thing is that there's many types of phosphates that you can't test. So just because you get a test kit and you test it and you get a 0 reading, that doesn't mean it's 0. That just means that it's 0 in the form that the test kit can actually test. So just keep improving your water quality, keep improving your water quality, keep improving your water quality. When your water quality is really great, then funny enough, give your tank a month or even 2 months, then your tank starts looking great. It's really not rocket science. Now, sometimes you're missing something. And if you're doing everything right and your tests are all right and you think everything's right, then it's a good time to send away an ICP test. So you can send away an ICP test to a company like Triton and then just get a printout of their levels, and that may give you some hints about what's going on as well. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed here, you're certainly welcome to. And if you get any other questions, by all means, whack it on the bottom of this video. If you've got any advice, whack it on the bottom of this video. There's always another way to look at it.